Welcome back to the Hampton Roads Show. The summer heat is on, and we humans can beat the heat by staying in the shade, wearing lighter clothes, or just camping out in the air conditioning indoors. But our animal friends need our help to stay safe in the heat.
That's right. Joining us now with more on how to take care of our wild friends in the summer heat is Jay Tacey, manager of the Zoological Operations and Animal Ambassador at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. And he's brought along some friends to help. Jay, welcome back to the Hampton Roads Show.
Thank you so much for having us back.
Okay, so we have turtles, we have a dog, we got birds, we got everything. What is the message for everybody out there?
Well, you know, although it's hard to believe how far through summer we are already, it's also important for us to remember that we still have a lot of hot weather coming our way, and we're going to be involved in that. So we like to remind people how to take care of your pets and how to take care of even animals around your local environment, maybe in your backyard through this time of the year. So we brought Sky, one of our border collies here from the Highland Stables at our park at Busch Gardens, to remind folks that, you know, dogs can't sweat. They can only sweat through certain glands in the pads of their feet, which isn't a lot. So there's been a lot of stuff in the media lately about keeping kids in cars at our park that might get overheated. So this is a good opportunity for us to remind folks that it's also dangerous for dogs and cats or any other pet that you might have as well.
Well, what would the warning signs be that maybe, you know, Sky's getting a little overheated?
Right. Well, the typical warning signs you see are heavy panting. You know, if you start to see the gums or the tongue get really, really red, that's another sign that the dog's too hot. You know, we always remind people if you're too hot in an area, it's probably too hot for your pet as well. But in extreme cases, you can start to see things like vomiting or even diarrhea. Then you know there's something gone terribly wrong, and it's time to get that pet to some shaded area, maybe some cool water, not too cold, to help cool them off. And then we always recommend, even if it looks like your pet is finally gotten to be cooled back off again, it's always a good idea to take that animal to the vet because there might be some long-term damage that you're just not aware of yet.
Would you recommend keeping your dog groomed?
Keeping a dog groomed can be helpful, but for some of those more pale-skinned dogs, that can also invite some irritation from the direct sunlight. So it's one of those things you have to weigh out and just kind of be safe. You know, if you've given your dog access to fresh water, giving your dog access to shade, and then check on them frequently, you know, that's typically the way to go.
Now, many people in Hampton Roads have more than just dogs for pets. People have birds as well. What is your advice for birds? And we're bringing in a beautiful parrot.
Yeah, we've got a Solomon Island eclectus here from Williamsburg Zoo team over here. Birds can hide the heat a little bit better, but some of the warning signs that you'll see with these guys. Well, thanks,
Wow,
Hamlet.
hello.
He's not shy, is he?
Some of the things you'll see with birds is they'll start to look depressed, and when I say depressed, I don't mean sad necessarily, but they'll start kind of hunching down. They might droop their wings out. They might be panting as well because birds do not sweat. So once again, we have to keep that in mind. And sometimes when people keep their bird in enclosures out on a pool patio or get them outside for the summertime, they forget that the sun moves throughout the day.
Right.
And that bird can end up in direct sunlight. So it's always, again, check on them frequently. If it's too hot outside for you, probably best to get them inside.
Now, that's an exotic animal. However, there's so many wild animals out there. You've brought in I think, is this an eastern box turtle?
Nice. I am so impressed. Every time we come here,
impressive,
you just...
Chris.
But, I mean, you shouldn't really mess with them, but what is your advice for people out there?
Well, you know, we like to talk about the wild animals out there as well. Of course, our company has now rescued over 23,000 animals in our company's history, believe it or not, which is something we're very proud of. So in that, you know, we like to remind people about the animals in their backyard. So keeping bird baths refreshed, and believe it or not, keeping a high-quality bird food on hand and available for birds can help reduce the stress from heat. Because if they're finding good food to eat, they have to forage less, which means, you know, we're taking care of those guys as well. Box turtles are hatching right now, so when you're mowing the lawn, keep an eye out for them. I like to do a big sweep of my yard to make sure I'm not accidentally going to run over anything I don't intend to. And then keeping some taller grasses around the edges of your yard can really help a lot of those smaller animals out as well to provide them shade and some food sources.
Okay, so some great tips. It goes beyond our dogs, our cats. There's a lot of other animals that they are also affected by the heat. So you guys have a bunch of animals that people can come see at Busch Gardens, right?
We do. We've got behind-the-scenes tours for just about any animal we have that you can get up close and personal with and learn a lot about and learn how to help its constituents in the wild.
All right, sounds good. So Busch Gardens Williamsburg, just go out and check out the animals and all the great stuff they have over there. They're open daily through Labor Day, and for more information, go to buschgardens.com/VA. You can also give them a call at 343 or 800-343-7946.
Thank you, Jay.